I think you should be the only person that isn't sick of yourself. Hi, I'm Bonita. I'm 20 years old and welcome to Before I'm 30. Again, there is nothing wrong with being 30, but I think it's interesting to document the thoughts, the lesson, the experience before my frontal lobe fully develop at 25, and I will have 5 more years to figure out who I am, to revisit old things, and then become fully human by 30. So I just got back home from campus. You can see I'm not the freshest version of myself, but who cares, right? Because I was super tired, but every time, no, because this occurred a lot of time where I would come home feeling so tired in the car, and then I got back, and then I'm in my room, and then I feel fresh, and I don't want to sleep anymore. And I thought I wanted to sleep, but then I don't want to do it anymore. I thought maybe it's the subconscious guilt in me that I'm not doing anything productive, which is wrong, because sleeping is actually productive too, because you are recharging yourself so that you can be more productive. But that's not the topic today. So I just figured something out. I realized something, that I often feel guilty because I blame myself when I'm not over something yet after exceeding the deadline I set for myself. And let me elaborate that. So here's the thing. Imagine that you have a problem, or let's say you're getting over like a fight with your friend, or maybe your best friend, or okay, let's pick one. Hold on, my brain is kind of overstimulated right now. Okay, so imagine this. You dated someone for a year, okay? And it was real, it was cool, and then you guys broke up. And then you thought, well, it's a year. When my previous relationship ended, which was 6 months, I got over it for within 3 months. And so you kind of did the math because you thought that's how human brain works. So now you dated this person for a year. You thought, I will get over this person in 6 months. Okay, mathematician. When truth is, that's not how our brain works, I think. I'm not a neuroscientist. I know nothing about psychologists. Not psychologists. I don't know anything about psychology that much. Well, I'm not an expert. That's the underlying truth. But I don't think we are that robot-ish, you know? But I don't know if you're like this too or not. If it was me, I would blame myself in a way like, girl, get over it. It's been months, okay? And I feel like everyone around me is tired of me too. That's how I feel. Like, sick, I mean, I get it, which is very normal, because sometimes when we're going through something, whatever it is, something difficult in our own life, we like to talk about it with our closest ones because it helps us release that. But I realized something, that in this fast moving society, it can be overwhelming. And it's not that we don't care about this person, but humanly speaking, everybody got their own shit. And sometimes it's tired to hear the same thing over and over again, which is understandable. And so if you are like me, I would be like, you know what? Just keep it to myself. Write it down. Talk it out by yourself. And it worked. But like I said, human brain doesn't work like that. You can reprogram it, but you don't really, it's not gonna be instant. Like, I have this deadline, it's gonna happen at this certain time because I set that deadline. And so I found myself every time that feeling comes up, I would be like, stop it. Girl, stop it. And instead of clicking myself back into some sense, I feel suppressed, denied, because what I thought was how I feel at that moment was rejected by my own self. Because I think, no, because I act like other people, that I'm tired of you. And I realized something, that if I'm also sick of myself, then who's gonna be there for me, right? I mean, except God, that's different case. I mean, he's never sick of us. But in social situation, I think the only person again that we can rely on is just ourselves. So I read this somewhere that you need to learn to be your own best friend. And it might sound very individualistic that even you make your own self your own best friend, but I think there's a light on it, that learning to be an empathic friend that you usually are to your best friends, to yourself, is, I think, one of the keys to be happier. And so I've been training myself that every time, so I have this issue, and every time it comes up again, instead of like, girl, stop it, we don't talk about it anymore, which sometimes it works under certain circumstance when it is actually like necessary to be cut off. But there are times where maybe it just hasn't been fully resolved yet, so you still need to talk about it, right? And so I'm learning to tell myself that it's okay. I mean, I'm not sick of you. Like, if you still need to think about it, to talk about it, then that is okay. I'll listen here, and maybe that's actually the way for you to fully get over it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like suppressing it, So that's the point. That's what I wanted to talk about. I don't really like talking for too long and record it, because I'm not gonna watch it either. Sorry. I like to talk under 10 minutes. Yeah, and also, by the way, this microphone is sponsored by my best friend. Shout out to Ivana. Thank you. She's a singer, by the way. You should check out her work. Check out her works on Spotify, and I will link it on my description, because she has supported me with this. Well, yeah. So the point is, the lesson learned is, be the only person in this world that isn't sick of yourself, because people will get sick of you. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's not because sometimes it's not because there is something wrong with you, Sometimes it's not because you're not a cool or fun person to be around with anymore. Sometimes because everybody is too busy with their own selves. And it works in many aspects of life, and we can talk about it later. But sometimes it's not always about you. It's not always about you. So maybe they just sick of you because they just have too much on their plate right now to empathize, because empathizing takes energy. So when they do that, just okay. And then, like, why not, right? Why not? I mean, these things happen in life. And learn to not take things too personally, because it's not. And once you understand that, and then realize, well, I can still talk to myself. She still wants to listen to me yap about the same problem over and over again. And that's how you know you are a step closer to be in peace with your own self. Well, yeah, that's just my TED Talk today. I don't know if I will ever post this or not, because I've been doing a lot of these, but none of them are coming out to the world, because I don't know. Well, happy before 30. Happy growing.